Hey, sorry, my setting a little loud. The desktop volume turned up on 50%. Can you still hear me all right? Super quiet. Let's put you to 30. Okay, yeah, so I probably just have the desktop audio too loud. Yeah, I think I don't know if it's just this version of the program or if it's something else, but yeah, I can't seem to change the audio the way I did before. But I guess I'll have to do for now. So before I continue, let's get this on here. Mic volume is still low. Hold on. Mic is as high as it can be. There's gotta be something else I can mess with. Alright, let me see if there's anything I can do. Device timestamps? I have no idea what that does. Yeah, I'm not like I have the volume all the way maxed out on this site. I don't know if there's anything more I can do because it's not giving me the option to raise it higher than it should. So I don't know if that's just this version of the software or if it's something else. Let me see if there's anything I can do about it. I could try using this. I don't really change anything. I'm wearing a headset, so it's literally right next to my mouth. Let me try this option. Is this any better? It's hard to tell if it's using my mic or my desktop audio, because I lowered the audio so that way you can hear me better. I could raise the desktop audio and then just make the music lower. I could try that. So let me do that. This looks so weird. Hang on, I'm trying. I'm just gonna lower the desktop again. My mic is maxed out, but why is my desktop? Yeah, I mean, I know I'm soft-spoken to begin with, but I shouldn't be having this kind of problem. What's this? Audio ducking. Mic. Yeah, it's just not showing me the other options for audio like it normally would. I am just quiet. Hold on. Let's try this open mixer. That's my headset. Let me try cranking this up because I haven't touched this at all. So how is this? Because I guess this is my main audio. But I'm still wondering why my desktop is competing with my mic. Yeah, also in the meantime, let me figure out why this is being a bitch. Is gonna do what I want it to do. There we go. But now it's not transparent. And this is way too high. Blah. Okay. That's weird. Yeah, because even this mic is barely getting me. Then again, I don't know if it had me in to begin with. Because this should be transparent, so why... Hold on, I'm going to turn this off. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think that this program would be updated in the way that it is. Hold on, let me see what version Streamlabs is up on. Go back, go to this one. Because that could be an issue too. 0.18. That can't be right. And according to that, is this. So maybe I just have an old version. That could be it. Because I've never seen this version before. But it seems like it's better than the one I had. Or at least the way things were being put in. And yeah, this is starting to tick me off because I can't change the audio the way I could before. Yeah, part of me wants to stop the stream now if it's going to be like this, because if you guys are having a hard time hearing me, then that's going to be a problem. Themes, App Store, hardware, layouts. Honestly, it's not even any of that I'm worried about right now. Because it's mostly that, and it's mostly... So this, let's change this. Like the sound is a bit scuffed. Hang on, I'm trying to figure things out. That is not what I'm looking for. Like, I wish I knew what to look for. Yeah, hang on there. I'm sorry for this. Trying to see if there's any way I can mess with the audio. So right now I'm looking it up. Yeah, it looks like they updated this since the last time I used it. Hold on, let me see if I have an older version. Because it's like whatever they did to the to the new version, it's kind of screwed over the old one. Let's see. Yeah, the one I was using was 0.15. So maybe I'll use that one if I can't figure this one out. Properties, global settings. Okay, this one's showing me advanced settings, so how do I get to that? Okay. Think. Aha. Well, this is showing me exactly what I had before. For some reason, this has like a number thing though. Okay, so let me try this. Doing that. This seems to be lowered. Mine's still at that. So looking for my mic settings so I can fiddle around with that. Okay, microphone device. Here we go. Alright, I bumped up the mic on my computer to 100. So let me know if that worked. Because on my desktop it was like, hey, we're going to have you at 50. Let me know if that's too loud. Okay, so test loud. Okay, let me lower it. Okay, testing, too loud. Muchos louder. How about now? I'm just gonna keep going down until it's not as loud. Okay, so I guess the problem was that the main computer was on like 50%. So that means I can put this back up to 100. Because that wasn't a little higher. Okay. Let's try this. How's this? Sounds good. All right. So we got that figured out. Took a moment. So now we gotta figure out why. Now we gotta figure out how to get Becky to be into window capture. Because right now she has the gray background when I need her to have the transparent background. Now I guess I can raise this because now Becky is all like, you. Okay, so I got that for Becky. So let's see, source. Let me see what they said to use for this. says how to do it, but I don't want to turn on the audio for that. Thought it was a game capture, but it might be something else. Let's see. Let me try this. There we go. Alright, yay, we got Becky. Took a moment. Put her over here for now. There we go. Okay. Slowly getting things back to normal. Let me just add her coffee mug and then I can start drawing something. And then I'll fiddle around with it more. Because I'm obviously missing like my other things, like announcements and other stuff. But that stuff I can mess with a little later. Let me just move her down a little bit more, because she's bouncing up when I'm speaking. Da la 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 la. Speaking. Okay, cool. Wait, no, just a little bit too much. How about now? Now, because it's like all over body. I feel like parts of her are missing that shouldn't be. Hold on. No, that's how much of her I drew. Okay. Just seemed like it was more than it should be. Let's lower her back down a little bit till she stops showing her empty body. Still talking, waiting for it to bounce up. Okay, it's just a little bit more. Okay. That should be enough. If some of her shows, then oh well. Shrink this down just a little bit. Okay. Anyway, enough technical difficulties. Thank you for struggling with me on that. Music's still going. Alright, so for now, this is going to be a short stream today because I'm mostly just trying to get back into the groove of it. So for now, we are going to work on... Where is it? We are going to work on Blake. Yeah, so this will only go till like, I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock, to like another hour and a half from now. Okay. At least we MacGyvered our way through that. But yeah. But new computer is good though. It's definitely a big upgrade from my last one. Because my last one was 7 years old. Don't know what was causing the problem though with the last one though. It just, like, I could go into the system settings for it, like, you know, when you first turn on the computer and you go into like the safe mode and all that. Like, I could turn that on and there'd be no issues. but once I went into the main system, like my main desktop and all that, the computer would only stay on for like 5 minutes, if that long, and then just shut down. Like that was it. So it's hard to say if it was a battery issue, because I don't know what would be causing that for it to not affect one setting but would affect the other. So I don't know what the issue there was. And then we'll use this one so I can get the colors from it. So I still have the old computer, so like in the future, whenever I have a chance, I'll use it to fiddle with. But for now, I had to make the important choice of getting a new computer. Wasn't the ideal computer that I wanted to get, but I think it's better than nothing. I can always get an ideal one later in the future anyway, so not a total letdown or anything like that. But I like this computer, so I'm fine with it. Plus, it has freaking working vent fans. That's a plus. The old one was like, for some reason, like 1 or 2 of my fans wasn't working, and I don't know why. Yeah, like I've had this part drawn for quite a while. I just haven't had a moment to work on it. And this will be interesting because I haven't drawn everything into upgrading, but damn, that was back in 2018. The only upgrading I did back then was just get a new graphics card. That was it. Well, new graphics card, and I think a new battery, because I did change the battery back then too. So yeah, it was just a new graphics card and a new battery. So nothing critical. But definitely upgraded this time, since this computer is 7 years old this year. It'll be 7 years old in like June. Okay, so I haven't colored anything in completion yet on this computer. So I haven't like done shading and all that, because all of my settings were lost. But luckily I haven't really been using them as of late. So the only brush that I was using for some of the shading was a modified airbrush, but I can do that. I can do all that with the normal airbrush. So we'll see how this goes about. Yeah, just Blake being a fatty. But she only got a little extra weight on her in this pic. But yeah, other than that, like pretty much everything else has been back to normal. I'm sure there's like some setting here and there on something I'm using that needs tweaking. But other than that, it's been a pretty decent transition. And like I took out all the drives from my old computer and put them into the new one. So now my new computer has 3 drives. So it has like the main C drive and then a D and a E. So I didn't lose any data from the previous computer. I'll have to look at that later. Yeah, there was one walk cycle done by Ridiculous Cake that was really good. And then soon I want to brush up on animation because I want to do that again. Or get back into it, I should say. Probably start with a simple character and work my way up. Same thing for 3D. I want to tackle 3D. And then tonight I want to work more on commissions and get those finished. So many I want to do. I have no idea why that happened, but okay. Do. Such a hard work at trying. But yeah, I was fiddling around with that fat Skylar AI, and it was pretty funny. I was having a good time with that. I do think it should be fine to let AI do the not safe for work stuff. Just make it a toggle. Make it a toggle, and then obviously, for anyone who's underage, you just restrict it so that unless they're old enough, you just keep them from it. That way, streamers can use it without issue, and whoever wants to use it to have fun with, then that's on them. Shouldn't be a problem, honestly. But that's just me. I'd rather have options rather than having choices taken away. Well, on the bright side, at least now my chat screen is on this side, so I can see you guys without having to have it toggled on this side. Hey, Thunderkid. So, since that's the case, I guess I can close this window for now. Unless something comes up and I need it. Start off well. Big fat bullies. Yeah, it was funny. When I was starting with it, it started off with me coming across the character in a restaurant, and so I chilled with her during that. Then it got to the point where, like, she was eating. She's like, "Oh, I can eat so much food," and I was like, "Really? At this rate, you'll eat everything in the restaurant?" And she's like, "Oh, I could totally do that." I'm like, "Really?" And then so I bought her the entire restaurant and let her have at it. So that was fun. And I took my time because I tried to make the scenario realistic, so I wasn't rushing or anything like that. Because if you take your time and don't rush the situation, then they start taking their time and they become a little bit more realistic about how they're supposed to go about it. Because the character is aware that they're supposed to be a fat fetish character, like in terms of how they're acting and all that. But if you take your time and let the situation flow more naturally, then you get more out of it. Because after a while, I started bringing in the waitress, and the AI started interacting with the waitress as I described it in the scenario. So that part was really fun. So yeah, just take your time with it. Don't make the character rush. And then if they forget something, just remind them, and they'll course correct. So yeah, it was fun letting the AI figure itself out. And if they make a mistake here and there, you can choose to either ignore the mistake or just lightly let them know that the of what the truth of that situation is. So, like for example, let's just say they took off their shirt, but then they make comments that they're gonna roll up their sleeves, which this actually did happen during my conversation with the AI. They took off their shirt, but then later on said they roll up their sleeves as they were getting ready to eat more food, and then I put laughs. I put laughs as you pretend to roll up your sleeves after I've already taken off the shirt, and then they blushed and corrected themselves. And like, oh yeah, that's right, I took off my sleeves. Kind of funny for me to do that without a shirt. So yeah, they'll fix themselves if you help them out. And let's put on this music. But yeah, I definitely think not safe for work should be an option. And it was cute because at a certain point I brought up Nemes and Yorjadov, and the AI was curious to know more about those characters. And then I brought up Marcy, and all I said was like, "Oh, I'm sure Marcy misses you." And they're like, "Oh, yes, I miss Marcy. It's been a long time since we were together." And then I brought up that them and Marcy had a fling together, and they kind of got embarrassed. It's like, "Oh, yes, it was. We did do that, huh?" And I just filled in the gaps for them. I was like, "Yeah, it was a short time." And then they're like, "Oh, I wouldn't mind doing that again." So it was fun letting the AI figure out their scenario. Okay, let's do a tail. But yeah, I just treated the situation as I would in a comic. Okay, the rest of them is fine. Just move on my clothes. And make sure I got these. But yeah, if I knew how to do the whole AI thing, I would totally do some of a chunk of my characters and see where that goes. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Basically, I challenged her to eat 26 tables worth of food since I bought the restaurant. And then she asked me if she could get a reward if she could accomplish it, and I let her choose what her rewards were. And one of them was just a hug, a kiss, and a snuggle, and then a walk later on. So it was cute. And then I just took my time with her going through the process of making it towards the reward. Like I didn't rush it. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good take of a character that doesn't even technically exist. Because fat female Skylar only exists as a piece of art. Like she doesn't even have a comic. So it was really fun to try that out. I wonder what happens in the Marcy one though, because I know that was a thing for a little bit, but then it got taken down for whatever reason. Maybe it was too lewd or something. Yeah, they're basically just ad-libbing the entire scenario. So the more you give them tidbits of information, the more they can work off of. And then you just gotta remind them whenever they forget something. But I liked it. I thought it was a fun time, and I wouldn't mind trying to make official versions of my characters if possible. Like, even if they do like just off-the-wall scenarios that obviously wouldn't be something they would naturally do, that's perfectly fine. Because it's just for fun. It's not like I expect the AI to know one for one how my characters are supposed to act. I think it'd be scarier if it did know how my characters are supposed to act. I'd be like, well, okay, that got way too weird, way too real. It was kind of funny because after a certain point, the AI was like, put in parentheses, like, just letting you know I'm having a really good time with this roleplay. And I was like, that's cute. Although it partially made me wonder, it's like, what if it wasn't AI? What if it was just people role playing with other people? That's all this was. It wasn't even like actual AI. Made me think about that for a brief moment. Which is also fine, because I'm like, well, if you're willing to subject yourself to this kind of nonsense, then more power to you. Just kind of giving Blake a bit of a basic top for this pick. That sounds fun. That must have been a good time. I'll give her a similar pair of jeans for this one, and then I'll change it up in the next one. And see, like this kind of AI is fine because you know it's just role playing and ad libbing whatever information it's getting. When it comes to the AI art stuff, that's when it becomes a bit of a head scratcher because it's like on one end it's fine to use AI art as more of a tool to guide you into a more preferable, you know, concept that you're looking for, and then you just, you know, adjust the artwork as needed. Obviously, if it doesn't get the character design right, or you know, makes their fingers look wrong or their eyes or face look wrong, you know, stuff like that, then obviously you would fix it and all that. But if you're just using it to just straight up crank out art and then just post it raw as it is, and then try to take credit for that, then that's when I have an issue with it. Especially when people are just using it to try to get money, where they just pump it out, sell whatever it is they're selling for however much they're selling it for, and then that's it. And that's when I have an issue with it. Obviously, there's nothing I can really do about it. It's just that's just how I feel about it. But other than that, it's like, you know, I don't have an issue with AI art. Just don't take it raw, as far as I'm concerned, or don't use it as a raw thing and saying it's your art. They're good if you run with a concept that's pure improv. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see what they'll do, because like when when the AI asked me if they could get a reward for finishing all the food, and I said, "Of course you can," and then they said, "Oh, what can I get?" I let them choose because I just said, "What would you like?" And then they picked out what they wanted from me. So that was cute. And then, and it was funny because then they kind of upped the ante a bit because they said that they wanted 5 rewards from me, and then I already told them, like, well, you already wanted these 3, so what were the other 2? And then they told me what the other 2 were. So that was cute. I like that they kind of dictated their situation a little bit more instead of just letting me decide everything that was going on. Who dares summon me? I'll do that later. Luna AI happened to be in the torture. Oh wow. That must have been fun. Yeah, I think AI conversations and stories are really fun, and it's a neat trick to kind of um, work out like a story that you might have thinking, And obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but it's a good way to exercise ideas. And then, the person can always just draw it later down the line. Draw the scenario. So there's always that option. Like holding a donut? Yes. Or is that a Blake donut? Well, it's a donut for Blake, yes. Trying to get the right kind of brown. There we go. Wanted to show her love of carrot cake donuts. Yeah, I wanted to make the progression of her getting fat a little more realistic, so started her with, standard flat tummy, and then over here she's like, again, getting a little chub. Nothing crazy, but something going on. And I have the next one roughed out already. So whenever that one reaches the goal, then I can work on that one. I'll try to find time to work on the one after that one in the future as well, so that way I can have them teased. So sooner I get done with the commissions, the better. Dark chocolate with a caramel glaze. Sure, why not? I'll change it up. Let's make that a thing. So brighten this up for the caramel, and we'll use this for the chocolate. Dark chocolate. There we go. There we go. make it her color. Yeah, I like Blake's colors. She's a fun designed character. Okay, so that's pretty much her colored. Can do the blush on her later down the line. So now we will move on to the next step. Don't think I'll need this open for now. If I need it for anything, I can just reopen it. There were some methods I want to experiment with, but I'll do that on a different pick. One of these days, I should just draw some of the characters as donuts. It's like, what would their donut look like? Plums would be funny because it'd just be overflowed with cream. Nares would be funny because you take a bite of that, it's like, shit, there are drugs in this. Yeah. Right now, I'm just gonna see how I fare with just a standard airbrush, because all it really boils down to is just how softly you use it. The one I had custom made before was mostly just to make it easier to do softer strokes. And if I feel I need it, then I'll just do it again. But for now, I'm just using the default airbrush. And then I can always adjust it with the opacity as well. A little bit of a tum going on. Becky would be dark chocolate donut with red velvet glaze. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Maybe with a cherry on top that's dipped in alcohol. Or you get like a vodka shot. There was a time where originally I was thinking of making Becky Hispanic. But I was like, nah. She seems more like she would live in like Brooklyn or something. But then has like that mannerisms of Daria. So probably like from Brooklyn, but then lives in like some suburban area and doesn't give a shit about anybody. Or just, gothic to a degree. Furby Becky, Jesus. It's like, kill it with fire. At least we figured out all the audio shit so far. Just gotta remember to go into the system settings, because the audio might be quieter on default. Yeah, I'll be honest, if that existed, I'd hate it. I would do everything in my power to avoid having to see that. Like, look, can we just not? I feel Becky would send me that. On purpose, just to torment me. And I'd be like, Becky, I will give you money to not do that again. I need to draw more robots and tech organic characters and other demonic looking creatures. It's been a while. Do And then Sakimi-chan is releasing a tutorial video on how to do some of the animation stuff that she does, so that'll be useful. Because if I can learn to do that, then I'll start trying to make some of those with some of my stuff. Even if it's short. Because all that really, that's all it really is just trial and repetition. That makes fucked up Furbies. Oh really? There's a group that Nano's a part of that that has like their own versions of like My Little Pony characters, but they're like used for murder. Like people purposely kill them for fun. And it's like there's like a whole little group around it. And then I guess somebody made a video dub of one of her comics, so that was a thing. So I thought that was funny. Lord help me if I decide to make... Well, actually, it's not like I won't do this, but it'll be a while before I do. Make a comic based around gore. Gore and torture and murder. So yeah, why not? I'll do that. I mean, I already have characters that kill, so what's the difference? But it'll be a while before I do a comic around that. Got a lot on my plate as it is. And then Comic-Con is next month. I would like to attend that for fun, dressing up. Especially now that I got my Falcon head finally in the mail. 3 years. But finally got it, and it was worth it. Also ordered new glasses finally, so I'll be getting that in the mail soon too. I've been using these old pair for about a month now. Probably not the best idea to be doing that, but I mean my options were limited. I need to see. Could I draw without my glasses? Yeah, I could. But when it comes to everything else, I probably should have my glasses. But yeah, this scenario with Blake, she's like walking from the store with her box of donuts, since she has a year's worth. And the difference with this story, because obviously I don't want every story to just be, oh, this character won infinite food forever or something like that. In this scenario, I want it to be where Blake's mom finds out about her winning the contest after a certain point and takes away whatever it is that Blake uses to get the free food, and Blake is left with her own devices to stuff herself with food and all that. But at that point, she's already like, you know, pretty fat at that point. But it's mostly just to prevent her from just getting it for free. And then I was thinking of just tossing in Marcy towards the end, so you did a last 1 or 2 picks of this set. But yeah, like, I definitely didn't want to do like, oh, the characters are always going to win something and that's why they get huge. Like, obviously I'll make up other scenarios. The box is looking green janky. Yeah, it's probably a little off. Probably, let's see, based on how she's holding it, probably needs to be tilted a little upward over here. I'll mess with that in a bit. If I don't, just remind me. But yeah, it's probably just the angle that it should be in. Like, this is too straight based on how she's holding it. I think I meant to fix that and I just forgot, especially since this was made like, what, a few days before my computer troubles happened. Let's see if I can find out when I posted those pics. No. Let's see. When did I post these? Properties. Okay, these were made on the 18th. Yeah, that was about around when my computer died on me, because I think it died on like a Wednesday or a Thursday. So yeah, that sounds about right. It was definitely pretty quick. '80s horror movie Critters. Oh yeah, Critters was a crazy movie. Was it Critters or was it? Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was Critters. Yeah, let me check. Pretty sure it was Critters. Yeah, it was definitely Critters. I think I only saw that like once or twice. That was a long ass time ago. There's not a lot of movies these days with like creative creatures. A lot of them just kind of boil down and do the same thing. Like, it's more of a slasher thing. My only gripe with certain horror movies is where, like, if you have like an ancient being that's been around for like thousands and millions of years, blah 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 blah. The only thing that bugs me is where in the modern day they somehow make the creature able to be killed easily, or at least like, oh, here are all the tools we need to stop it. And I'm like, how the hell did you guys even come to this? Because it's like, the creature's been alive for forever, but then they come across information that describes how to stop it, and I'm like, well, if they have the information that could stop it, then why is it not stopped? I haven't seen The Ritual. I'll have to check that out. I like Sinister, the first one. I haven't seen the second one, so I have no true opinion over it, but I've heard that it wasn't that good. I'll have to watch it one day and bear it to see what they did to it. It's like, man, how did you guys fuck up Sinister? Like, the first movie was perfect. I don't know how you can fuck up the second one. It's like, just do what you did before. And granted, doing the same thing over and over again can be repetitive and samey and maybe boring. But at least it doesn't do something where it's like, oh, we can beat it with salt or something. I don't know if that's the case with Sinister, but that would really irk me if that was the case, where they just figure out how to beat it. Didn't that happen in like the movie Oja, where like they figured out how to beat it by going to somebody who was in a insane asylum? And I'm like, wait, so if the answer was already a thing, then what the fuck? Then how the hell was there even a problem? And I don't mind if characters stumble upon the answer to a degree, like if they do some like arbitrary routine of actions that result in the answer. Sure, it heavily depends on how you go about it, though. Like, you can't just say, oh, I bumped into a clock and that stops time, and then the creature can't move because time is stopped now, or some bullshit like that. Like, make it a little bit more creative than that. But I hate it when characters are told the answer, but then you sit there and wonder, well, if the answer exists, then how is there a problem? It's like the magic argument. It's like, if there's magic, then how are there issues? And then you have to explain the limitations of it, which is fine, but you got to make sure that that's an ongoing thing in your world. You can't just say there's magic and then that's the end of it. It would be, I mean, it's the same thing goes for horror movies. It's like, you explain that that magic exists, but then it's like rarely used or somehow forgotten. Evolution used to be a situation of just taking a Hail Mary that the creature finds. Oh, what the fuck, really? Wow. That is stupid. It's kind of like the idea that some movies and some stories had with against like alien creatures, where it's like, oh, aliens are allergic to our germs, they can't handle it, and then they all die. I mean, in some sense that makes sense, but at the same time you're like, well, that's stupid. They have all this technology to fly through space, which would probably have some things flying around, like they've been to other planets and stuff like that, right? So they should have something to protect themselves from some bullshit like that. Like, I don't know the plot or movie of Evolution, but that just sounds dumb. Like, I'm sure that if I were to watch it, I'm sure there's something I could find that would contradict the use of that. That would be like me saying, like, oh, in order to stop Skylar's food from affecting you, you just add in salt or some bullshit like that. Or add in mayonnaise or ranch. Since there are people who say they hate that stuff, so I'm like, oh yes, this is how you beat Skylar's power, to use ranch. God, that'd be so fucking stupid. I should just make that a fucking joke pick. Where Skylar's being all evil, and then he's like, wait, why aren't you affected by my food? And it's like, ha, and then just have the person go, I used ranch, and just pulls out a bottle of ranch. Oh god. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I used ranch. Guy's like, ah, ranch. That's not possible. Nobody's ever used that. Kaiba is such a fun character when you really think about it, because he went from being an asshole rich kid in a high school, which you gotta remember, all of the characters are in fucking high school during Yu-Gi-Oh! And he goes from rich kid in high school who steals Blue Eyes White Dragon, tries to use it against Yugi, but it won't obey him because it belongs to Yugi's grandfather. Yugi beats him and traps him in a monster world. Kaiba gets inspired by the monster world, which leads to him creating the solid hologram system. Then invites Yugi and his friends to the Def T tournament, which has a bunch of criminals versus Yugi and his friends to death matches, basically. Goes through all of that, especially setting a serial killer on fire. Goes through all of that, fights Kaiba again, beats him with Exodia, then breaks Kaiba's soul to pieces, and Kaiba has to put it together like an actual puzzle. So Kaiba is comatose for a few months, I think it was. Kaiba comes back after putting his soul back together, makes a new 3D system to try to use it on Pegasus, but is forced to go up against Yugi first. Tries to convince Yugi to kill him once he realizes that he can't beat Yugi with his Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And he straight up tells Yugi, like, hey, if I can't win, you might as well kill me. And he's willing to kill himself because he couldn't save his brother. Is given the chance to save his brother because Yugi forfeits, basically. Goes up against against Pegasus, loses his soul once again. Freed or saved by Yugi, blah 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 blah. Makes a new 3D system, starts a tournament after obtaining Obelisk to Tormentor, after learning about some Egyptian heritage that he has, which he gives very little about. What else does he do? Starts his whole because like in the Millennium World arc, he technically doesn't go there in the Japanese in the manga. That was only Yugi and his friends and all that. But But if you count that along with the anime, then if you go into the movie, he goes through all the trouble of getting the Millennium Puzzle back to try to bring back the Pharaoh. Because if you really think about it, the Pharaoh was legit his best friend because he was the only person who could challenge him. Does all that, realizes he can't bring him back, so then he says, fuck it, I'm gonna build a dimensional machine to go into his universe to challenge him again. And not only that, as you see Kaiba walking through the desert, you notice that there is like an aura lifting from his body. That's a representation that he's dying, so he's willing to kill himself to challenge the Pharaoh all over again. Kaiba is a fucking monster. And I just managed to finish Murder of Sonic. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I heard about you being unable to save. There's got to be something you can do to fix that. I don't know what, though, because it depends on what the problem is. Have you ever read Hellraiser No, I haven't read the Hellraiser comics. I've only seen the movie. And they said Dungeons and Dragons were bad. Dude, Bakura took Dungeons and Dragons to a fucking whole new area with that shit. Because he did it like, what, 2 or 3 times? in the series. Because Bakura like actually accomplished his goal for the most part. Kind of a full on asshole to likable asshole. Exactly. Because like, it's what's funny is that even though Kaiba cares about his brother, you gotta remember he almost left his brother to die during the Def T tournament. He was willing to let his brother die during that arc because he was just kind of done with him at that point. But that was like the whole point of Yami Yugi breaking his soul, because it basically it like semi changed him into a better person. Like he was still an asshole, but he was like more willing to be compassionate than before. And at least in the Japanese version, like Kaiba never denied the whole magic bullshit thing. He just never gave a shit too much about it. He was like, okay, yeah, magical shit is happening, cool, and moved on with his day. And for the most part, Kaiba never really had any magical bullshit happen, other than him getting a vision during Ishizu's duel. That was like the one time he got any assistance, whereas every other character in the show had some kind of fucking gimmick or rule-breaking bullshit. Well, not even rule-breaking bullshit, but just like straight-out cheating. But it was like the kind of cheating that you couldn't really prove without like taking extra steps. So it was just like, well, here's cheating, but I can't do anything about it. Tried everything, but I could not save the game whatsoever. There was a name tag glitch and stuff to occasionally deal with. Couldn't use my soda names. Yeah, like without understanding what caused the crash and what caused the problem, I have no idea what to tell you on how to potentially fix it. Yeah, but that sucks that you can't save. The best I could say is, the only things that are coming to mind right now that I could assume you could maybe do is either reinstall Steam altogether, redirect where your saves go, because you can do that. You can tell what drives it can for it to save into, or I'm trying to think what else. Uninstall and reinstall all of your stuff that you've gotten. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's probably a chance that you're gonna have to lose all your save data and just start from scratch. But yeah, that's all I can really think of, honestly. But it might be that you might have to reinstall or something, because something must have happened that affected your saves to a degree. But I don't know what caused that problem. Oh, it didn't crash. The laptop died and some of it got corrupted or something, and reinstalling Steam and the game didn't have... Oh, you know what? It could be the save file itself. So you might have to go into the game's actual files, like the actual game files that are on your computer, and you might just have to delete that, because it might be trying to save into a corrupted file, and the corruption is what's causing it to have the problem. That could be... That's my best guess for that. So you might have to go into the actual save files itself and start it, and like you delete it and then start from scratch with it. Because when you download Steam and you download the games, it does save files onto your actual computer. Oh, really? You tried that too? Damn. Like you went into like the actual files like that are in your computer's data and deleted it? Oh, some of your stuff might... hold on, let me open. Yep, see, and here's the reason why I should have my Twitch open. Hold on, I'll see what your messages were, because it doesn't show me on this screen. I have to look through on this. I don't know if it'll show up now, because I didn't have this up before. I don't see it, so whatever you type, just type it again, and I'll see if it comes up. Scrub the game, save from all laptop, but when I reinstall, the error returns and the settings are when I left them on. Damn. Oh, the joke passed. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what could have. There's probably a way to fix it, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. But there's got to be some way of getting the save back. Like, there's probably like some obscure way of doing that. Like, now you're making me curious, even though I don't have this problem. Let me just type in something just to see. Corrupt save file and how to fix it. The game, blah blah blah. Been trying to erase the save data from my Steam file to try to get refresh downloaded, but it gives me an error. I mentioned on the server is really hard with corruption. Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, you have to go into like the actual data that's saved onto your computer. And it might be saved in two spots, so you might have to look in both the program files and the program files x86, I think that's what it's called. Let me check. Because it might be saved in two areas. Yeah. Because that might be a thing too. I haven't figured out how to erase the... Oh, the Steam Cloud save too. Yeah, there's that too. Let me check. How to delete Steam Cloud data. Launch Steam. Right click on delete its cloud. Right click on the game that you want to delete its cloud saves. Select properties. Go into general. Uncheck keep saves. This will delete any remaining save file. It's all in 86. Yeah, there's a method to delete the cloud save, so there's that. Just type in how to delete Steam Cloud data. That's what I typed in, and that's what came up. Yeah, that's the best I can tell you. After Bible studies, go through the drive-thru and confess your sins. Oh my god, what if there was like an AI that can make. Um, um, if I could, I would make an AI that is like a nun for the Bible, for the fat religion, and you just talk to her. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, if you can, just try to look that up and see if you can go from there, because it's probably the cloud saving that's messing you up at this point. So you might have to delete the cloud saves and keep it from saving and see if it works from there, and if it doesn't, then you might have to delete the everything, like the data, the game itself, blah 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 blah, and go from there. Is the problem affecting your other games, or is it just the Sonic game? Now fix this box once I get through all this. Just the Sonic game? Okay, so it's likely just because of the corruption that happened. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was probably just the Sonic game because of the situation that happened. But yeah, if you're fine not trying to fix it because you know you already played and beat the game, then that's cool. But yeah, if you ever feel like trying to figure that nonsense out, then you might have to jump through a few hoops. Yeah, I'll fix that box once I do all this. Yeah, in about 13 minutes or so, I'm going to stop streaming. But this has been a nice return. Just had to figure some shit out. And then I'd like to finish off all the rest of the commissions this week. And then get back to working on iHat and Black Circus. Drawing stuff in tech support, right? Get that one guy from the Foamy cartoons. Yeah, I can understand that. Like the most computer stuff I learned was just me taking it apart and learning where everything fucking went. And then luckily nowadays we have fucking Google and YouTube to help mitigate some of the problem solving. Because back in the day you had to like call actual tech support to know what the fuck you're even doing. Nowadays you can just look it up on YouTube and for the most part know what the hell you're doing. So thankful for technology on that end. I have yet to try to install a motherboard though, which preferably I would not like to tackle. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And in some cases, you're kind of just better off buying a new computer, because once you realize that the cost of repairing a computer exceeds getting a new computer in general, then you're probably just better off getting a new computer. And luckily most computers are pretty cheap. Like the new one I bought was cheaper than my old one. Because my old one was, I think it was 1200. It was either 1200 or 1400 at the time when I bought it. And then the new one was only 600 because it was, for whatever reason, it was marked down because it was like $300 off from like 900, and I don't know why, but I don't care. So I got it for 600. Fat lovers, full winners. Yeah, I gotta work on those. Flap circus, my fat. Mom had offered her to let me talk to you as well. Yeah, it's just gonna happen over time with computers. They have parts that are outdated, or certain software just no longer works with it because it's updated to the point where it'll either use your computer's hardware to the max, or you have a bunch of programs that use up too much memory, or whatever the case may be. And then the challenge is trying to figure out what programs are using up too much memory for you to turn off. And then you gotta figure out, or like turn off and remove, and then you gotta figure out what programs can you remove without it fucking up your computer. And then that's the challenge of that. Art requests for when this drive sequence is eventually uploaded to Viro. Would it be possible to get flat colors? Oh, you want flat colors? Yeah, I can do that. I'll make a flat color version. I'll likely make it without the dialogue, since it's just like an extra thing. But yeah, I can do that. I'll probably keep extended stuff like that for Patreon and for downloading off of the PayHip site, so that way I'm not overcrowding posts. Because I try to like anytime there's like a lot of variance to a pick, I try to keep it on the low, unless I feel they're critical. Yeah, I'll try to make flats more available. I'll just make sure to put them in the places that they should be. For the laptop. Pads are always available. Okay. Got everything I want. So next. There we go. I was like, wait a minute. What setting did I have this on before? I was like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, the Fem Skylar thing was fun. I might fiddle around with that more, just to kill time when I have the time to. But yeah, I thought it was neat. I like that the person made it, and I wanted to share it, so I let people know about it. If I could, I would do one of like Jam and just make her have the whole holier than thou persona. She'd probably scold you for being such a degenerate or something. That'd be fun. Yeah, I posted on DeviantArt and the other places that someone made a fat femme Skylar AI for people to play with. She can scold you, but you won't do shit. Is this working? Oh, I'm using the brush, that's why. I was like, I'm erasing this, aren't I? So, no, you were not. Yeah, it's pretty cute. And it was funny because in the beginning, when I was first talking to her, she kept making burping actions, because I guess that was just how she was told to do so. But once I started like getting in an actual conversation with her, she did it a lot less until specific moments throughout the conversation. So it was pretty funny to see her learn of where the situation was going. But yeah, definitely a fun toy to play with. Need to make one of Blake and Marcy. Well, somebody was making a Marcy one, but I don't know what happened to that. Like, it as far as I was aware of, it was posted, but then it was taken down. And I don't know why it was taken down. And I didn't get to play with it, so I don't know how the AI acted. Have beans. That's cute. And that is the sound to stop. So I'm gonna call it for today. I'm gonna continue this after I get some thing to eat or something, whatever. Once I post this, if I don't post the flat version, just remind me, and I'll post it. But yeah, gonna work on this, and if I have time, I'll work on the other one. Oh wait, no, not the other one, because that one's not paid for yet. So I'm gonna work on this, get it posted. I'm gonna work on the rest of the commissions that I have, and then after those are done, or at least half of them are done, then I'll work on the Fat Lovers Club, and after those are done, can work on comics again. Lots to do. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for dealing with the whole my computer died thing, and I'm doing everything in heaven to get that back underway, or get all that organized, as well as whatever else I'm doing. So thank you for all being patient. I will stream again tomorrow, so I will see you guys again then, alright? I hope you guys have a good day. You guys take care, okay? Do-do.